Hi there. Well, I'm back on this stubble field and it's absolutely lovely. Ideal because the ground's so hard, but it's still enough stuff near the surface that you don't have to dig, hopefully, too deep. And it's lovely and warm, it's quite windy, but it couldn't be better conditions apart from the hardness of the ground. And I don't mind if I don't find anything today. I've been having such an amazing time of it recently. If you haven't seen my previous videos, please take a look. So I don't care if I don't find anything, but fortunately I have. I found a couple of little Roman coins already, not in the greatest condition. Even though that one's very nice, I think these are both quite early. That one can be a denarius, I think. Actually, well, I'm not sure. It looked copper, but in very good nick. Vespasian. I think that might be a denarius. Way, hooray! Gosh. Quite. Well, I hadn't cleaned it up before I got the camera out, so yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it? I don't think a copper coin would be as raised as that. And I'm not carrying my bag with me today because I'm having to put so much effort into digging. I can't have that swinging around, so I've got my speaker here on my hip. But I don't know if that's going to therefore sound as good for the microphone which is there. So anyhow, we'll see. Better than nothing. And if it does work, then I'll do it more like this in future. I'll put the settings up now. I've raised the sensitivity. I don't tend to do this very often because I'm so used to the settings I use that even by raising the sensitivity a bit, if that's now going to pick up slightly more deeper iron, that's going to sound like what I know is normally going to be a better target. It plays around with what I'm so comfortable with, but because this stubble means I'm still off the ground like that, it might make a bit of sense. That sounds a little bit foily, or it could be a very small bronze coin. Some areas are nicer than others to dig. I'm going to the pinpointer very quickly because I'm not mucking about with this. Unfortunately, again, quite close to the surface. If I'm finding all this stuff close to the surface, imagine what's underneath. That's just a horrible bit of foil. I thought it was. I'm going to limit myself to digging really strong targets here, I think. Even though it might mean missing out on the odd good one, I don't really care. I'm not digging up this all day and that. Gosh, it took me a bit of time to get into this. And I honestly thought it was going to be a bit more important than what it is. Because it's a big sound for a little coin. It's a little copper Roman coin. It's got the soldiers on one side. I don't know who's on the other. It's a bit smashed up. But gosh, that's so it's very, very dry. But it's not to say that, that was about 3 or 4 inches down, maybe 5 inches down. It's not, you shouldn't avoid stubble. I mean, if you're patient and you can get on it later, then do wait for it to get done. But don't let it put you off, especially with this machine. It's quite good in it. But that's lovely. And the reason I got my hopes up for it a bit too, because I found a really, well, not the most sort of gobsmacking piece of pottery, but it's certainly what's called Roman greyware, and it's the rim to a pot or a cup or something. So I mean, that's a really good sign. That's what got my blood up on this on that one. Well, this sounds quite nice. Very clear. Might be a cartridge actually. Very loud. Gosh, this weather. It's the end of August and it still hasn't rained. We're gonna miss it though, I tell you. I know we're moaning about it at the moment, but as soon as it starts getting rainy, we're slogging through the mud and we can't walk because there's too much clay on our boots. We'll all be saying, oh, wish we had the sun back. This is too loud. I just hope it's not too deep. Fortunately, it's not. Yeah, we'll get it out here easily. Cartridge. Gosh, it's very punchy. Too punchy. Yes, what did I say? Ah, sod's law. But I've just found another really lovely Roman coin. I found a few of these, and this one's in very nice condition. I'll even be able to get the mint mark off it. PLC, I think that's London. It's a classic Constantinople commemorative. You've got the embodiment of Constantinople on one side, and then I'm sure, as I said in the last video, I think it's the winged victory holding the ship or something, or steering the ship. But that's a lovely one. Well, that's a lovely sound, and it's a lovely coin in slightly better condition. I think it's a Carhahrt. That big head, that big thick neck. I read somewhere quite recently that he did that on purpose because he wanted to come across as looking really thuggish and tough, having taken over control of Britain and Northern Gaul. And that later on in his reign, which was from 286 to 293, he sort of calmed himself down a bit, and he gave himself a bit of a sort of more elegant look. But I think that's him looking all a bit butch. Not sure though. I think so. Gosh, the weather in this country, honestly, it was lovely 2 minutes ago, and now the wind's picked up and it's looking decidedly stormy suddenly. Well, that sounds quite nice. And I found a couple of really quite interesting things. Well, slightly more interesting than the coins anyway. Even though I really hope that is a denarius that we found earlier. Sounding a bit squeaky now. But things do sound squeaky when it's dry. If you get into the sand here, if you get through the hard stuff to start with, you've got half a chance. Crikey. Oh, this is hard work. Well, it's just there. Oh, it's lead. Rats. I think. Right. It's a Roman coin. Surprise, surprise. No, I love it. I absolutely love it. And that really was quite deep. And wouldn't you know, it's another Constantine commemorative and in beautiful condition. Gosh, there are lots of these in this field. That's a lovely one. And I'll show you what I found. Another coin. And that's really nice. I think that's a Constantine. I'm really pleased with that. That's lovely. And then this. Now, I don't know what this was. I mean, it looks, could it be part of a brooch of sorts? It looks like it's got enameling and well, I don't want to play around with that too much, but that looks like red and green enameling to me, and that maybe is the part of a sort of, I'm not sure, but that's unusual. And then this, which I thought might be a plate or something, but it's very, very flat, and it's got two very obvious lines going round it. I mean, part of me doesn't think that's Roman at all, but I've only found Roman here. Only. There doesn't seem to be anything else. It's just Roman. No medieval, no post-medieval, no Georgian, nothing. But I'm not complaining, it's fabulous. Well, that sounds nice. Crikey. Not coming back after this for a while. This is just too much hard work, even though it's fun to... Look, it's just fallen out. Little Roman coin. Another one. Gosh. Right. It's the same old, I'm afraid. Little tiny house of Constantine. Gosh, they make a big sound though. Whoa. Well, I think we better end on this one. My time's up. Another lovely day. I'm going to leave this field now until it gets done. It's hard work, this stubble. It's hard work, this ground. I don't know if you can hear this. I don't think this is working very well on this level. I'll eat my hat if that's not a coin. I'll eat my pink hat. I'm surprised there's not more jewellery, brooches and stuff. I must say, it's just coins, and lots of them. And it's just down there. Hopefully let's end with a nice one. Pinpointers, but they have a life of their own, pinpointers sometimes. Well, gosh, it's loud sounding. I think it might be a cartridge. Got a horrible feeling. Some areas are much easier to get into than others, I've got to say. I don't like the sound of this at all now. It sounded really sweet and nice to start off with. Well, maybe because it was just there all along and I was just going deeper and deeper. I think there's two sounds there. I think there's two things in here. Right, there's a Roman coin here. Quelle surprise. We knew that though, didn't we? That wasn't... And it's quite a nice thick one. I think it's a large one that's been a bit clipped or knocked around. It might be Claudius Gothicus with that chin and nose. But that's lovely, a nice early one. Ooh. It's nice, there are all sorts of different ages coming off this field. From those early denarii, and maybe that Vespasian one today, right through to these Constantines. I mean, I do think that's Claudius Gothicus or someone like that. Or Quintillus, perhaps. His equally pointy brother. Let's just see if there was another sound still there of something nasty and deep. No. How interesting. Well, look, thank you very much for watching. More Roman coins, and we'll give this a break now. See you next time.